Hi guys, this is your instructor Peter Olson. I'm taking a look at the discussion and I'm going to give you some quick feedback on your logo icon sketches. This is not part of your grade and it's not your final grade, but I'm just giving you some tips so that you can move forward with this project through the week. So first up we got Aichen. Aichen, I did give you a midweek critique. It seems like you followed some of that direction. Just looking at these, I'm thinking the ones that really stand out to me are number 2. And I would say something with the swords, number 7, and perhaps number 5. Uh, some of these, these could be simplified a little bit. Make sure you don't get them too complicated. And make sure your type is formatted outside the icon so that you can read it legibly. But I think you're off to a good start. Next up is Jessica. You had Dark Wave Soap. I'm looking at your sketches. They all have to do with waves. Your soap, I'm sure, because wave is part of the name, I'm sure you went there, but I would think more about this sort of gothy aspect of this brand. Read through your keywords and see kind of what logo ideas come from that. Um, some of the waves are kind of stylized nicely, but I would encourage you to break out from the waves. The light bulb kind of doesn't make sense to me with this product. It's a beauty product, so there's something supposedly sort of beautiful and dark about this. I don't think you've quite captured what that is in any of these logos, so keep working. Let's see, next up we got Anthony. Anthony, you had Layla's Fair Trade Coffee. So this is a coffee that comes from North Africa, sort of Arabic feeling, and I'm not really getting that from any of these icons. Um, so maybe the palm tree a little bit. The ship has some romantic aspect to it, perhaps. Coffee cup is really mundane and uh, not good. A coffee cup with a bow. Yeah. So think about your keywords and kind of where you're going with this brand. Because right now, I don't think you've hit what the brand is about. Um, so coffee mugs and steam, we've seen that before a million times. Think about North Africa. Think about romance. Think about Arab culture and things like that. So um, keep working. Randy, next up, we got Peace Cookies. So, Peace Cookies are sort of a new age fortune cookie that has interesting um, messages. When I look at this, the one that jumps out is number 11, the panda. I think you could do something even more probably with that, like getting the panda to be more of a character. The ones that are just sort of cookies, I would sort of steer away from. And keep your type separate from the icon. Uh, the the all-seeing eye and the pyramid, there's something there that you could probably work on to create it. Person meditating, perhaps, if you sort of like pull that together more like an icon. But when you're trying to struggle to put the words and the cookie together, sort of steer away from that. So I think you have some possibilities there. Um, Next up, Dakota. Dakota, you had Windsor tea, which is a British tea. You've sort of embraced that with a little Windsor sort of a crown, the British flag. I would steer away from tea bags. That's not really typically not British, but um, perhaps a teacup could work if you decorated it right. Uh, but I see you're sort of struggling with the word mark. So think icon and then add the words after. Um, the more British it is, the better. So the crown is probably good. Probably something with a coat of arms, perhaps. Maybe something like that. Look at castles. Steer away from tea bags and teacups. See what you come up with. Uh, Next up is Sharon. Sharon, you had Tortuga jelly beans, and Tortuga is the turtle. And I gave you a midweek critique on this, which you seem to take to heart. Now, putting the type in the ring is problematic in some cases, so you might want to pull it out from there and put it beneath. Think your Full Sail logo. That's what you want to be modeling your logo structure after. So this one obviously jumps out as the number one. I think the island is probably another option. I like the pirate ship. I feel like it needs a little more development, but perhaps that could be your third. All right, Natalie, Thoris Coffee. I think I gave you a good critique on this already. You've got some interesting sketches here. I definitely like number 9, number 8, perhaps number 3. Um, I don't know if that's confusing from what I said before, but yeah, you've got some good options. So those would be my recommendations. All right, next up, Andrew. Andrew, you did Atomic Cookies, the cookies from Area 51, Space Age, the Atomic Blast, perhaps with if it's cookie oriented, uh, the electrons flying around the atom, perhaps again cookie oriented, that could work. The rocket ship is interesting to me, or is it a bomb? Uh, those are the three that kind of jump out. Some of these, I'm not sure how. Yeah, just showing the ingredients doesn't really work. But yeah, I think you got three potentials there: 1, 2, and 9. All right. Next up, Sweet Tooth Gummies. This is Bianca. Bianca, your sketches are really hard to see. You need to take these into Photoshop and give them a little more contrast so they can be visible. And I'm trying to see them. Okay, so there's a teddy bear sort of holding a candy bar, some candy wrapped, a candy pop. I can't tell what this one is at all. Let me see if I can zoom in. Okay, this is like a word mark with little gummy bears around it. Uh, I can't really tell what that is either. The sweet tooth mouth. Now this could be fun if you do sort of a cartoony thing. Um, Teddy bear with evil teeth. I'm not sure about that. And this one kind of hard. Oh, it's holding the type. All right, so think of it this way. All right, the mouth is one potential one. The teddy bear could work if you give him enough personality and characteristics. Like maybe he's, yeah, a little more sophisticated than a cutesy teddy bear. So consider that. And you steer away from using the words. Try to come up with an icon that's separate. And I wouldn't use candies. Like if they're gummies, you wouldn't show a lollipop because that's like a different kind of candy. So I think you got to work a little to come up with a third option. All right, next we got Dustin. Dustin, you are doing blood orange chocolate. You've got some interesting sketches here. This one, number 9, jumps out. Number 5 jumps out. Um, this kind of looks like the blood donation center to me. This one could be interesting if it plays out right with the chocolate on the orange. So it's like 5, 9, and 10 are all pretty good. Um, this kind of looks like a saw blade or something. I think this is a word mark you're doing here. Yeah, I still feel strong about 5, 9, and 10, so maybe pursue those. Next up is Kimberly. You had shaman tea, which is a sort of southwestern tea, sort of meditative product. You did some interesting visual exploration with Native American imagery icons that are all kind of fascinating. So number 5 definitely jumps out as a potential. That's a good one. Um, Perhaps the drum, number 4. And this one, I'm interested in the patterns, but I wouldn't put the word mark in the logo, in the icon. Um, Maybe the patterns on the teacup. So I think you've got number 5, number 4, and potentially number 8. Now, okay, there's a couple others here. Yeah, none of these. Well, this one maybe. It's sort of like a leaf in the landscape. Yeah, steer away from the initials too. So I want to make sure that you're using the InDesign template we provided. And right now, this is not how the assignment should be turned in. It's okay for the discussion, but when you turn this in, you want to put these sketches into your InDesign template, as some of the other students have done. So make sure you do that. All right, Joshua, Wacky Noodles. Okay, right away, bang, this number three jumps out. Um, Perhaps number nine. I'm a little confused what's going on there. Nine. Kids are fast, running in a circle. All right. So something with playful kids might be fun. I'm even not opposed to this one, sort of a wacky W made of a noodle. Uh, this is really interesting. Number four, it's kind of a mouth in the negative space of the noodle. I think the steam coming off of that kind of ruins the effect a little bit, maybe. So number three, number four, number nine, and number seven, all potential ones. So I kind of like the smiling bowl too. All right, so you got some good options. So keep going. Next is Rebecca. Rebecca, you're doing Black Sea chocolate from the Ukraine. You found the Ukrainian anchor icon, which is kind of an interesting shape. Some waves, the ship. The waves, ship, icon, these things jump out to me. Chocolate bars and pictures of chocolate boxes are not really a logo icon idea. The salt shaker is pretty mundane, like this has got some romance to it. So I think the pirate ship, or the ship, not pirate ship, but the ship is interesting. The waves, something with this, but you'd have to give it your own unique take on the anchor to make it unique to this brand. So think conceptually, see what you can come up with. And these sketches could be a little more high contrast too. But. All right, Zizli, you have mint soap, the soap that is mint. Um, right away, number 10 jumps out. That's like the refreshing mountain. I wouldn't try to work the word into it. When you do something interesting with the mint leaves, perhaps that's something you could do. This looks like a flower made of mint leaves. I don't know. Other than number 10, none of them really are super jumping out to me. So maybe number three, number something with number nine. But the letters and doing word mark do a little less of that. Yeah, and Japanese style. So this is like Mount Fuji, perhaps. I think you got a few more to come up with. Um, Next we got Lewis. Uh, your company is Sol Beso. Now you've put these sketches. They're nice sketches, but you didn't put them in the template. I hope you know how to do that because that's how this needs to be turned in. So we'll take a look. So here's the rooster, sort of in the spiral of the sun. I think. Let's see, number one. Yeah. Uh, the rooster, the king rooster. Hmm. The rooster on a rose, which is also an arrow. It's kind of like a wither vane, perhaps. Number 15. Let's see. The segment of oranges, dried fruit. It's lips, the kissing lips, sol beso. All right, that's an interesting idea. This one's very interesting too. It kind of looks like two birds. What are we saying with number 11? Swans kissing. Lewis, you got a lot of interesting ideas here. A lot of these are possibilities. So the hummingbird with a flower, that's nice. A bull with hearts is not something you ordinarily see, so I kind of like that too. The rose, a compass rose, the fruits on the earth, the crown on the S, that's nice. And the rooster. All right, so the rooster jumps out as your best idea, I think, especially like this first one. The first three are all good. To get something different, like perhaps this number 14, the lips, that's another one. So those are your three top ones, I think. I really like this as well. So I kind of going to leave it up to you a little bit because you've got some really interesting options. I think almost any one of these would be a decent logo. So good work, but make sure you're able to use the InDesign template. If you're not, if you're having trouble, let me know because you got to submit it in the template. And that is the end of what is posted in the discussion. I hope that's helpful, guys. I know you don't have much time, but keep working, and I can't wait to see what you do next.